Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the community show that doesn't shy away from using 3 different songs throughout its episodes nowadays. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this party started. Recently, we collaborated with Map Labs on their 5th mainline competition. Half-Life Abridged was the challenge to beat other challenges. You had to pick a chapter from the Half-Life games and turn it into a bite-sized chunk of gameplay, all taking place in one map. The results are in, and oh boy was there a lot to judge in this challenge. From 22 maps, only 3 could make the top 3 of course. But before we go into those entries, let's give an honorable mention to Day of Red Letter by Salamander. This map might have been a bit too abridged for its own good. Tackling the Half-Life 2 chapter Red Letter Day, it puts you in the hallway of your supposed home with a letter that's laying in front of the front door. You pick up the letter, noticing it's a red letter, and the map ends. It was included because the map did technically have a memorable moment, and it was a pretty funny one at that. So congrats to Salamander for having this map be an honorable mention. But we'll get back to him pretty soon. Now, let's go over the actual top 3 maps, the clear winners of this competition. At the 3rd place, we got Highway 17 by That's Redonkulous. This map takes place on the bridge level from the Highway 17 chapter of Half-Life 2, like the title already suggests. You fight your way across it until you get trapped in a cage which the G-Man eventually frees you from. But instead of letting you continue on your merry way, he teleports you to an alternate, more surreal version of the map where everything has low gravity. The visuals here are stunning, and the mapping work is really well done. In the 2nd place, we got Anomalous Materials by Jackathon and Eberhards. Being an abridged version of the Anomalous Materials chapter from the first Half-Life, it's probably one of the funniest maps that was made for this competition. It features custom voice acting and a bunch of different endings and shenanigans that take place in the map. Of course, the mapping quality is pretty good, and I think it manages to abridge the chapter quite well. And in the 1st place, we got Intraslot by Salamander. I told you it would come back. In this map, Nova Prospect is not just a prison, it's a Scandinavian furniture store, which is arguably worse depending on the person you ask. This is by far the most creative map of the bunch. It's obvious which chapter it tries to abridge, it being Entangled of course, but it retains all the memorable bits from the chapter like the turret sections. Oh, and have I mentioned that Alex is a lamp? Yeah, it's a really fun and great looking map, and it definitely deserves 1st place. Of course, all the other mappers gave their best as well, and we haven't forgotten about those. Scrolling over the screen right now are all the scores for all the maps. Congratulations to everybody participating in this competition. This was the biggest Map Labs competition that was ever released with a whopping total of 25 maps, 3 of which were bonus maps. I'm really curious to see what the next one is going to be, and I'll definitely be looking forward to it. If you want to play all the entries yourself, well, you now can. The link to download Half-Life Abridged is in the description below. Special thanks go out to all the folks over at Map Labs for bringing the opportunity to us, and I hope we can work together again in the future. Are you into role-playing? Do you love role-playing in the Half-Life universe? Well, then I got good news for you. Lancer Networks is a Half-Life 2 role-playing server that's currently in development and it's nearing completion pretty soon. Lancer Networks' goal is to extend the life of the Half-Life 2 role-playing community by offering a high-quality experience with loads of cool features and interesting events that will keep you hooked and coming back. The experience takes place in City 8, a Tokyo-inspired urban center which is more technologically advanced than your regular Combined City. The map has been created by Atlee and licensed out to the Lancer Network team that is now making some modifications to it to suit their needs. The original, which you're seeing some screenshots of right now, looks absolutely incredible and you can already download this from the workshop yourself. It's a really, really good looking map. Apart from all that, they are also in need of some more team members to aid them with mapping, modeling, and general development. If this whole thing sounds interesting to you and you would love to help them out, or if you want to know more about the project and talk about it, you can join their official Discord server. It's linked down in the description below. Dark Interval is back in the news again this week. This time they're showing off the progress that they've made so far on Part 2 and the maps that are going to accompany it. They are showing a whole lot of content here, from warehouses and workhouses to canyon and scrapland. It's all here. Some of these chapters are over 60% complete, and some only exist as visual concepts and drafted concepts penned on paper. What they already have here, though, looks absolutely incredible from a level design and visual standpoint, at least as far as we can see. Other than just talking about the maps, they also talk about their short-term plans, like how they have been working on their maps in a not-so-efficient way, and that they're planning to improve on that by pausing on the most finished maps and starting development on the ones that have no playable versions yet. They also briefly go into why it has been taking so long to release Part 2, which they mostly blame on the 1.2 update for Part 1. They were too busy working on updating that version so they can deprecate a 2017 version so they can bring the maps from Part 1 and 2 more in line with each other in terms of quality. There's a whole lot more to discover in the official update post, which I really recommend you go and give a read. You know where to find it. Linked in the description below. The long-awaited Gold Source mod, The Core, has received a brand new media update discussing some of the progress that was done since the last post. Apart from talking about some personal stuff and why the mod hasn't progressed the way that they hoped it would, they show off some cool new screenshots to gaze over. There are also a few notes that they talk about here, like how some maps have been scrapped and reworked to accommodate some of the feedback that was given from the testing round that happened a little while ago. These screenshots are a product of that, showing some of the areas that were improved because of the feedback. Now, if you want to read more about this update and what kind of personal matters have led to the project moving slower than expected, you can find a link for it in the description below. Hey, do you remember Guard Duty? It's a Half-Life mod that takes Blue Shift and puts it back a few years to early 1998 to take on that art style, while also adding some minor adjustments to make it more in line with Half-Life's beta. They have recently been uploading a few screenshots to show off the progress in the mod so far, and they look pretty interesting. They show some areas from the living quarters, the intro, and the locker room, all with a Half-Life beta-ish aesthetic, even though the locker room looks almost identical to the final Blue Shift version in my opinion. If you want to see these screenshots for yourself, go check them out at the link in the description below. YouTube user Ampatheric has modeled his sniper rifle to be a Half-Life themed one. In a video he uploaded to YouTube, he unboxed the entire thing and assembled it piece by piece. In another video, he shows the gun in action on the shooting range outside. Like you expect from a sniper rifle, it packs quite the punch. The design honestly looks pretty cool, featuring a distinct Black Mesa look, even including the logo on the side of it. I think the orange works really well with the black. That color combo can never go wrong, to be honest. If you want to see more from this gun, I've left the videos linked in the description below.
That last one opened up.
So from a real gun, we're now going to something a bit more innocent. Yehuda Design is back in the news because they created a Half-Life MP5 prop from scratch. It looks super realistic and it would definitely be fit for cosplay. Apart from that, they have also created some tutorials recently over on their website which you can follow to create your very own Half-Life cosplay. It includes a tutorial for the HEV suit, the Snark, and the hand grenade which we previously covered. If this sounds interesting to you, it's linked down below in the description. You know what's also interesting to you? Our social media, of course. It's linked down below in the description below, and it's on screen right now covering my face. Also, don't forget to join our Discord server where we can continue the conversation. Do you like my style? Well, I got a present for you because I have my own YouTube channel where I upload my own content. That is linked in the description below alongside my Twitter page as well. And with that, I'm going to end episode 57 of All Things Lambda. We'll be back next week with more community content. Don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon to never miss another All Things Lambda. Salutations, and take care.